impersonate Dr. Lorraine Fisher-Katz in order to do a spoof about some of the most egregious research presentations that we have all seen in our lives. You are brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You're good sport. You're good sport.
All right, so that's it, no? How to not give a bad presentation. So there are some information there. I'm sure you have already written those down, no? And please, no, take note that this is not just for the sake of you doing your assignment, but please also remember what you've learned and do apply it when you are about to give presentations, no, in class, especially in all your face-to-face classes nowadays, right? Okay, so we will proceed now to module 8. Okay, and yeah, let me share my screen again. Wording. All right, so for today, we'll be discussing Module 8, Obtaining and Disseminating Information Effectively. It's actually consists of 2 parts, no? This is the first one, and later on, communication for various purposes. Right? So, the very first stage, of course, of cognitive learning process is obviously obtaining information. Okay. What do we say when what do we mean when we say cognitive process, no? After obtaining information, no, a learner can continue that cognitive process, no, by of course verifying if it's correct, no? It involves obtaining information, we process it, and we also store it in our memory so we can access it again. Of course, that's the whole cognitive process. We store and then process, verify, validate, and then if we need that information, we have to access it again. Okay, that's pretty much the cognitive process. Okay, it's similar to learning because it is acquiring knowledge through now direct experience, right? There you go. Cognitive process involves obtaining just what I have said already, information, processing it, and storing it in the memory to be accessed again. Okay. So at the same time, providing information then, it plays a vital role in the field of education, a career, life. Just to add, no, we also have business. No, it's in every, of course, aspect of life. No, because we have to know a lot of things. We are being fed with a lot of information everywhere. So it is an unending process, no? Especially for us, no, as educators, one of the most important things now that we are doing is to provide information which are relevant to the students. Okay, so before we proceed to that, now I'm just adding some real life examples or scenarios. Okay, so as I was saying, we provide relevant information, no, so that you will be able to access that information. You will be able to process that information effectively. And because it's related to you, then you will be able to access that in the future. Okay, dapat relevant info. So, this information now, I believe you can apply academically, but not just academically, but also professionally and also personally, right? Just like what we have watched, the video that we have watched earlier, no, that was a part of your assignment. I've said that I hope it's not just for the sake of your assignment, no. Please do not just um forget it right after you submit your assignment, not just academically, but of course professionally. Personally, in the future, you will be presenting as well, no? Then you can apply what you have learned. Okay, so it's really important as a speaker, as a person, as a learner, as a businessman, or whatever, no, whatever position, occupation you have, then it's important that the information provided should be, sufficient. What else? Reliable, valid, and accurate. Okay. All right. When it comes to disseminating information naman, it is equally important then, no, in every area to be able to influence people's behavior. So what we have said, obtaining, disseminating. Okay, we have obtaining and disseminating. So it's also important, no, because it would be, it would enable now, it would enable us to influence other people's behavior, no, if that's our goal or purpose, no, so that they would become aware of a new idea, product, or service which is being disseminated or promoted, no, or also if they will adopt, no, they will be able to adopt. So obtaining and disseminating. I hope you're taking down notes, right? Because again, keywords lang. And this is for me to really test if you're listening. Okay. So let's go now to the types of information, right? What kind of information do you usually receive each day? Ito na. How do you receive and obtain information? Okay. There are three types. We have here big picture. We have here context, rather. Sorry, context, content, and meaning. Right? So, eto na. Context is, of course, the big picture. Basically, how we talk about it. No, how we talk about it, because we have a topic, but it may be it may be used in a different context. Ito na yung sinasabi natin, no? So we have to look at the big picture. That's when we will understand what the context is. I think pretty much self-explanatory yung iba, no? Content din, no? We all know content. It's the details, it's the message. What are we talking about? Meaning is the impact, no, or the essence. Okay, what's the meaning of that? If we ask, okay, we got the content, but what's the meaning? Ito na, we will see the real meaning of it, the real essence of it, which can impact us. No, the real meaning of that information, that which can impact us, our lives, or a certain group of people. Okay, right. So, yeah, information to add to that, no, it has important parts. One of which, as I've said kanina, we have context, no? To add to that, by the way, it's a written or spoken part of, what do you call this one? It's written or spoken statement that could precede or follow a specific word or passage. Okay, it usually influence meaning. Okay, it usually influence meaning. Please remember that. Okay, it is the set of circumstances, you can say, or facts that, of course, surround a particular event. Okay, let's go now to the characteristics of information. Okay, again, pretty much self-explanatory. Let me just quickly brush these things that are here. If you read it later on, of course, you can also produce your own, of course, meaning with this. It's pretty much self-explanatory. First, we have relevant information is capable of making a difference in making a decision. We've discussed that earlier already, no? Relevant information so that it's easily accessible later on. We can access it, we can use that information in the future, okay, in making decision. It's most important, right? Valid information is more in-depth information that allows greater insight. Again, we have to validate all the information that we are being fed, no? Reliable information is authentic, okay? Consistent, infallible, or information that suggests consistent dependability of judgment or result, okay? It should be basically reliable, okay? It should be authentic, ayan. Consistent, infallible. There's a truth to it, okay? Oh, it's your turn. Please read naman, Cedric.
Hello? Characteristics of information. Factual information is something documented, established, confirm, confirmable, supportable, sustainable, verifiable, indisputable, irrefutable, undeniable, unquestionable, and undoubted.
Ang dami, 'di ba? Okay, it's somehow related to the previous one. Again, it should be truthful. Yung information should be truthful and factual. And that includes all these elements. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. So that's it. We also have here, no, accuracy, completeness, consistency. This should also be a characteristic of information. We have uniqueness and timeliness as well. All in all, they're saying or stating that basically information needs to be of high quality, no, to be useful and accurate. Okay, this one I think you have been discussing this already, or you know this characteristic already. You just do not what do you call this one? Discuss it, of course, in subject or in courses, in your classes, in your lives, because then what for, unless you are, of course, from communication department or taking up communication. But then, of course, timeliness, we mean to say it's relevant, no? It's fresh, up to date. Oh, there, up to date. It's unique. It applies to some cases where a unique information is very important because, again, it's something different, no? Consistent. Yan na yung mga truthful, factual, complete, and accurate. They're all related to simply an information should be truthful and factual. Okay? Now, we have different ways of obtaining information. Okay, we have interviewing, observing and testing, and surveying. Okay. Interviewing, right? This is one convenient way to obtain information about the topic, okay? Conducting interview. The person's goal here is to discover, of course, the facts from a person who knows them, okay? Okay, where did we stop? Interviewing, okay. Who among you have done interview already? Have interviewed somebody, a person, no, for their, let's say, project. Have you all done interviews before?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. All right. So good. Then you know this already in essence. No, you know this already in essence. No, it's really good that as early as now you've already done that. Okay. So, let me check. Okay, there you go. Let's go over one by one. Okay. Although you have done it already, then at least it is still good to know these following points. Okay, so we have to first prepare carefully. Okay, we have to prepare ahead of time, especially the questions that we are going to ask. No, we cannot just um, keep asking questions on the spot. Otherwise, we might have missed on some important information that we could have asked in the first place. Okay, we also have to maintain professional attitude. No, it's not a talk show. Okay, so you have to remember it's not a talk show. That's why you have to maintain professional attitude when interviewing. Probe. We have here probe. What is probe? Probe now is, let's say, for example, we want or we need more information. No, from the interviewee, okay, during an interview. Probing now is asking follow-up questions when we do not fully understand a response, no, when answers are vague or ambiguous, also when we want to obtain more specific answers or more specific information. This is now probing or probe. We should be able to probe, no? We should know how to effectively probe, no? We just don't stick to our questions that we prepared. Dapat merong mga follow-up yan, no? So that's quite of a skill actually, this probing. I see Roselle raising her hands.
No, ma'am, I accident.
Okay. All right. I thought you are also probing na, no? You're probing na. You're giving some questions, follow-up questions to my lecturer. Okay, sige. Moving on. Lastly, we have to record the interview, okay? Again, sa probe, no? We know how to adjust. That's the word. You have to know how to adjust, be flexible, no? Record last, of course, you all know that, no? After interview, or no, not after that, but before the interview pa lang, you already have your cameras with you. You have to record, or especially not necessarily camera, but what do you call this one? Voice recorder, no? Something that you can record the voice. At least man lang the voice you have to record, no? The talk, the interview. Okay? All right. Any question? None? Let's move on to observing and testing. Okay. Observing is watching intentionally in order to discover the elements in a situation. Okay. So in other words, you place yourself in the situation to observe and record your observation. Okay. When observing in order to collect information, of course, we have to consider only the basic facts. No, what we see. Basic facts, it means what we see with our eyes only, okay, or what we can observe only. We do not add anything else, okay? Surveying, have you done this? Have you had some research done before?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you do survey or interview?
From survey.
po, ma'am.
A survey. Oh, good.
Interview.
Both, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where did you did the survey? How I'm curious as to what is this kind of survey? Is it community wide, school wide, or
Student, ma'am.
School-wide.
School-wide.
oh, students? Okay, good. All right. So you already know na no, you have to prepare the tool right before, diba? You know how to make the tool, the surveying tool, questionnaire, right? Have you done that? Of
Yes po,
course.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Of
Okay,
course.
good. So ano, tawag doon, it's just a review, no? It's just putting some words in what we call your practical applications already. You're doing it already. Good, good. All right. So surveying now is a research method used for collecting data, no, from a predefined group of respondents. Of course, you have respondents, you said students, to gain now information and insights on various topics of interest. Okay. So, usually surveys have a variety of purposes, no, and can be carried out in many ways. No? This can be done through telephone surveys, mail surveys, email surveys, internet surveys, door-to-door surveys. I think just like what you did with the students, no? Face-to-face, no? Door-to-door surveys. So yeah. Okay. Good, good. All right. So information dissemination. Please help me with this. Raikil.
Information dissemination. Sorry po. Spreading of information, knowledge, opinions widely to a certain person, people, or to a bigger group of audience to influence people's behavior so that they will adopt or at least become aware of a new idea, product, or service which is being disseminated.
All right. So that is now information dissemination. No, the use of various kinds of methods supporting each other is important as well, no, when planning this dissemination of information. Okay, spread of information, knowledge, opinions, no, to a bigger group of audience. Please remember that in with the purpose of influencing people's behavior, okay, or awareness. Okay, all right. We have now methods in disseminating information. Okay. So we have here news release, we have blog, emails, and then we have some few more. Now let's go first to news release. This is now a written or recorded communication directed at members of the news media. Okay, this is for the news media for the purpose of announcing something newsworthy. Okay, right? So something, newsworthy like updates, announcements, and that is now news release. Okay. Blog now is a regularly updated website or web page, no? For those of you who have blogs, who among you have blogs? Have tried creating blogs? Blogs is different from vlog, okay? It's not vlog as in a YouTube vlogger, no. This is now in a website or a web page, and you write something which is informative or conversational. Okay. You don't have blogs yet? You have not tried? Good, because that would be your task this week. Okay. You are to create a blog, no? Write and make a blog via LinkedIn. Okay. Of course, there are so many blog sites, blog pages out there, but we are combining now later on work let's say we are combining communication for work purposes plus this dissemination of information. And so I will ask you to create a blog in LinkedIn account. How long you have LinkedIn account? Wala pa din. Good. Okay. So later, si Feby, you have LinkedIn. Most of you, some already. I see 2 people raising their hands. That's really good, because I think LinkedIn is really important, especially when you are already trying to make your own careers in the future. If you graduate and you are looking for a job or creating your portfolio online, or also you want to connect with people, not in terms of, Facebook connect, no? Not hindi yung mga influence, not like that, no? If you want to connect with people with the same job field as you, no? Then LinkedIn is really good. It's a really good social media platform. It connects professionals. So yeah. As early as now, it's good that you will be exposed to that. No, not just Facebook, not just TikTok or Instagram. Okay, so that's why I will ask you to do that later on. Okay, so again, going back again, blog is a regularly updated website. No, you update it regularly, you post and write something regularly. No, it's typically run by an individual, of course, or a small group, no, and of course they have to produce written outputs and post it there. Okay, either to inform or to converse, okay, to share information. Emails naman, we have here messages, no? Of course, you already know what email is. I think we keep on repeating this. Okay. Emails are messages distributed by electronic means, no, from one computer to another. Okay. So you already know that. I think we've discussed that even last week, right? We have text message, text message, social media, and PSAs. Okay, text message, we can also disseminate information via text message, no? Okay, hindi lang pala textmate. Okay, meron din palang purpose. Okay, it's a written message, as you all know, containing short forms of words sent from one mobile phone to another. Can you give examples of situations where text message is being used to disseminate information? Anyone who can give example?
So the mom warning
Warning, yes. What kind of warning?
NDRRMC.
Si Emil ba yun? Emil? Is that you, Emil? You said NDRRMC?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, good. Yes, exactly, and also the example that I was looking for. You are able to receive this update, right? During typhoon, right? You get this update in your phone from from NDRRMC, right? So you get announcements, updates, what's happening already. So this is one way of disseminating information. Okay. I couldn't open the chat. Why is that so? Okay. May nag-chat ba? I'm so sorry. I couldn't open the chat in this full screen version. I don't know why. Can you tell me kung sino yung nag-chat?
Wala.
Wala. Okay. So please do not use the chat because I cannot seem to open it when I'm presenting right now. Okay, another technical problem. But yeah, if you have something to say, please just use your microphone. Okay, so moving on, we have here social media. Yeah, we already know this. Okay. Sometimes we even rely too much on social media for information, right? No? Social media or social networking websites, it's of course an online platform which people use to build now social networks. You all know that, okay? Or social relations with other people who share similar personal career or interest, activities, backgrounds, or real life connections. Okay. You already know that. Can you name some social media platforms where you also go to when you want to know some information?
Reddit.
Reddit. Wow, someone's using
Mm.
Reddit.
Twitter drama.
Twitter what? Twitter, did you say Twitter drama?
Yes, ma'am, yung drama sa Twitter.
Ah, okay, sa Twitter. Yes. Of course, that's why there's a Twitter here. 'Di ba? I think sa Twitter, parang flash news, right? It's just short, short read, o kaya parang short text lang, parang flash news, then just click the link, something like that. But even then, you can already read some updates, no? In Twitter, kahit konti lang, kahit limited lang yung text, right? Even if it's limited text. Actually, yeah, I'm also back in the I remember when it was still no kasagsagan ng corona, ng lockdown, when it was still everything still on lockdown, I've been really wanting to go to Germany, and reunite no with my partner there, but then that time traveling is prohibited. So I always check Twitter, no, because you just have to put the hashtag and all this. I always check Twitter if ano what are the things that they are discussing in Germany and what are the things that they're discussing in Philippines. Of course, I was able to see both sides, as I was able to see both sides, yung European Union, EU, what they're discussing about the exemptions of letting partners, unmarried partners, enter their country. Then I was also able to see the pages, the Twitter pages of that time spokesperson, Harry, is it sino na nga? Harry Duque? Is it? That's that time?
Hari Roque po.
Roque. Okay, yeah, correct. Sorry. Okay. So, yun. Yeah, that person. And then meron pa nga, there's another, I'm also following another public official's Twitter page. So, yeah. DFA as well, Department of Foreign Affairs. Then I was following them and, tuning in what they are posting in Twitter. Okay, so those were the times I was really depending or using social media as a way to obtain information, because of course these people disseminate information in that platform. O, diba? Okay. Next, public service announcements. No. Oh yeah, but of course, again, not everything you see on social media has a truth, no, behind it or is factual. No, most or some, let's say, are sensational, dramatized, and please, yung iba walang sources. Okay, walang katotohanan. It's not really true. It's a fake news. Okay, you have to also be aware of the fake news in social media. Okay, we have to filter out those information. Okay, next public service announcement. It's a message in, of course, the public, towards the public, no, interest, rather, towards the public interest, disseminated without, of course, without charge, with the objective of course, raising awareness, changing public's attitude and behavior towards a social issue. Okay, public service announcements. When do you see PSAs?
Sa
When do you
balita.
Ma'am, pag-asa?
Pag-asa, yes, weather condition. Okay. What else?
Ma'am, sa
Ma'am,
social
yung mga
media din.
newscaster, di ba? Sinasabi rin.
Can you give some common PSAs that we've encountered?
NDRRMC, ma'am.
Yes, we also have that, no? So weather, what else?
Ma'am, Gineco.
Okay, pag brown out, no? During calamities, of course, we also have during typhoon, as you've said, COVID, 'di ba? Ang daming PSAs that time. How to wash your hands properly, no? 'Di ba? What you're going to do if you got these symptoms, stay at home, all these things, right? So, yun. Okay. Uh, wait, let me just check if no need. Okay, no need. So, let's go now to door, okay? Door to door. Right? Door to door is now, of course, literal meaning. You have to go from door to door. No, it's a canvassing technique. No, it's generally used when have you encountered this? No, someone knocking at your door and they're doing this
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
when
Yung
DSWD
PSA, ma'am.
census.
census, correct. Okay, door to door. Census. Yes, yes. It's true. Yeah, I was also just recently I had that experience in Germany. Some people knocked at the door and I really couldn't understand what was that for, but I think it's about the usage of electricity and how much we are paying now compared to before, something like that. So, yeah, because they want to, I think, offer something cheaper electricity or something like that. But yeah. Okay, so again, yeah, from the example that I said, no, as we what we can see, door to door is also generally used for sales, marketing, advertising, or campaigning. No, not just, of course, information gathering. Okay. Also with the purpose of trying to inform and announce or sell, no? I think they were selling this, of course, nga yung electricity, cheaper electricity from them, no? Or advertise a product or service to the general public, no? Or again, that's what you've said, gather information sa PSA, diba? Okay, so that's door to door. Community meetings. Okay, lastly, is a small group method of collecting information, of course, from community members, right? It is used to provide now a directed, but but it's highly interactive, no? Because of course you have to know highly interactive because you are open for feedbacks. You will be receiving feedbacks. It's not a linear communication, no? There's going to be a discussion from the word itself, interactive discussion. Okay. It's similar but less formal, no, to focus group. And it usually includes, of course, the community, which is a larger group, diba? It's not just a few people, which is a focus group. Okay. So, okay, going back to writing PSAs. Anyway, this won't be an activity for you, so you can just brush through it just in case in the future you will be asked to create public service announcements, right? You can go back to this discussion that we've had, no? So in writing PSAs, language should be simple and vivid. Make your message crystal clear. The content of the writing should have the right hooks, words, or phrases that grab attention to attract your audience. Okay, dapat may hook yung PSAs ninyo. PSA should also usually request a specific action such as calling a specific number to get more information. Then we have some key things you should try to avoid in your PSAs. Melodramatic. Okay, wag masyadong madrama, no? Representations of your issue. Okay. We also have unnecessary information. Your PSA should be concise while still offering a sincere call to action. Okay. All right. Any questions so far?
Wala po.
No questions. I think what we have been discussing are just, basic facts that we are just trying to give, definitions, right? But you've all been using those things. You've all done those things, no? So it's really good that you are already familiar with all those ways of obtaining and disseminating information. Now let's proceed to communication for various purposes. Okay. Okay, hold on. Before we proceed to that informative communication. So, yeah, for various purposes, we are now going to the purposes of communication we will be discussing in the next modules for work purposes, and our last module would be for academic purposes. But first, we have for various purposes. What are these various purposes? Okay, so it varies, no? Communication varies depending on the purpose. Okay. That's what we have said a while ago. We will be tackling in the next modules work, academic. Uh, but yeah, in the meantime, we are here. Various purposes. What are these? No, of course, something not related to work or academic. Okay. Example, no? Let's cite some example where we apply this communication in various purposes. Okay. So, for example, we are in the mall or supermarket. As sales agents, would make sure that the way the product is promoted will be really effective, no? Or must be really effective to the buyers. Mag-click dapat sa mga buyers, no? These are some communication for various purposes scenarios. Okay, we also have a news anchor delivers information carefully, no? Also various purposes yan. Okay, we also have lawyer, ayan na. What else? Yeah, so those are various purposes of communication, but of course, we will be defining it now under 3 types. We have informative, persuasive, and argumentative. That's why kanina I said lawyer, no? But we will tackle that later on. So, informative communication, what is it? Can you help me read that? Matt.
Informative communication generally centers on talking about people, events, processes, people, or things. The main goal for an informative speech is to help explain specific subjects, thus increasing the audience knowledge and awareness of the topic. Informative message attempt to present an objective that is full and unbiased view of the topics being considered.
Okay. Some of it are self-explanatory. So when we talk about informative communication, so this is, sorry for the typo, no? This is just with the purpose of informing, okay? We inform the people, okay? We do not change, we do not want them to change what they think about a certain topic or issue, no? It's just to inform them, okay? So, in what way, in what cases, no, we are explaining, for example, a specific subject, no, to help the audience, remember that topic, knowledge, or issue later on. Okay. So meaning from complex now, we are making it simpler, no? from complex to simpler ways of explaining things. That's why we are informing, no? So please remember that, from complex to simpler way of explaining things. Okay. It is also speech that aims now to provide information to the listeners. Okay. Can be a speech, right? As of what I've said already, the goal is not to persuade, but to increase their knowledge and awareness of the topic. Okay. Therefore, if we want to inform, the informative messages now should be objective, okay, truthful, unbiased there. Because we just want to inform, right? So, can you give me an example of you giving some using this informative communication? Simple, very simple scenarios. You don't have to think of complex situations. Where do you give basic or simple information? Can you give an example? Where you deliver, for example, informative speeches. This we said earlier, these are speeches that aims to provide information. Okay, so there are very simple examples. What are those? In which scenarios wherein you are to give informative basic speech?
Reporting.
And speech, we don't, it doesn't necessarily have to be reporting, no? But yes, of course, it's also an informative communication because it's obviously for delivering information, no, and unbiased view. Yes, it's also a good example. But I want you to look at the more what do you call this one, simple scenarios in life where you use that, you use this kind of informative communication. You give information. Or
Le-
what other informations? Someone was trying to talk. Who was that? Sorry, I wasn't able to see.
Lectures po.
Febby. Okay, Febby, yes. Lectures as well. Yes, correct. What else? Very short ones. It can be the short scenarios where you are giving informative speeches.
Ma'am, demonstration of something po.
Demonstration of demonstration speeches, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
That is somehow a bit of a persuasive communication because, of course, you want other people to believe you. Is it to believe what you believe in? Is it correct? Yung mga rally, is it? That's what you mean by demonstrative speeches
No.
ba?
No po.
What is it? Demonstration, product demonstration? Let's more specific. What is it? Demonstration of what?
Iba rin po alam, ma'am.
Nag-yes ka na lang sana sa product demo.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Okay, mali pa din.
No, ma'am.
Because if you're demonstrating a product, then you want the people to use that. The persuasive dapat. Okay, sige. At least you have an answer. Yes, no, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Okay. All right. So the very basic ones we have introducing yourself. Okay. If you introduce yourself, you were asked to step in front and introduce yourself, tell your fellow students several facts about you, about your life, then that is already informative speech. Okay. Okay, yes, diba? Of course, you do not change the facts unless, of course, you change your age and all that. All right. Then again, also you also added no reports. Good, good. Informative essays as well, visual aids, all these things. Okay. All right. So since the purpose of we still have time, no? Since the purpose of informative speeches or communication is to inform, then of course the topic can be very wide, no? Anything under the sun, no? Right? So it's very what do you call this one? You have many subjects as long as they can be discussed. Remember, without persuading or altering the perceptions of the audience. Okay? So that's the important one. So their informative speeches can cover many subjects. That's what I have said, no? Just remember, without persuading, it should be without persuasion or altering the perceptions of the audience. No, we have said the examples: informative speeches, presentation, reports, informative essays, no, visual aids, and all right. We have here now, no, from Osborne, no, he purports that informative communication arises out of three deep impulses now. One is because we seek to expand our awareness of the world around us. Number two, because we seek to become more competent, right? And number three, because we have an abiding curiosity about how things work and how they are made. That's why we seek we seek more knowledge and we seek the need to be informed, right? Okay, so when preparing for an informative exchange now, ask yourself the following questions, okay? Is my topic noteworthy to be considered informative? Okay. What do my recipients already know about the topic? No, what more do they have to know? And are you knowledgeable enough, no, of your topic to help your receivers or audience, readers understand it? That's what you should keep in mind. I think you can also apply this when you are creating your multimodal text, right? Because it's up to you, no? Diba? I've said yung purpose, is it to inform, to persuade, no? All these things, right? So please keep this in mind as well when you are also doing your multimodal advocacy campaign. Right. Now, let's proceed to persuasive now. Persuasive communication. Please help me read this. Let's have Rayson.
Persuasive communication. Any message that is intended to shape, reinforce, or change the responses of another or others is an important of gaining fair and favorable considerations for our point of view. Generally, persuasion refers to such communicative activities that are mediated.
All right. So basically, it provides now a choice, no? It provides a choice and then you have to choose, and then that's what you advocate. Okay. Right. So, mediated here is it uses supporting materials to justify advice, no? Of course, the purpose now here is you want to persuade them to do something, to act on something, to change. Therefore, you turn now your audience into agents of change, right? You want change, so you deliver persuasive communication, and if it's effective, then you turn your audience into agents of change as well. Okay. There. Examples. Research and business proposals. Okay. Persuasive messages. Of course, we know business proposals, that's one main communication tool that applies persuasive communication, because of course, by the word itself, business, you are selling something, you want something, you are proposing something, you are pitching something that should be bought, okay, that should be accepted, right? Business proposals and research proposals, you've done that, right? Now, informative versus persuasive. So we have a general view, no? So informative instructs, explains, describes, etc. It gives something to the audience. It tells them, no, it tells them information can persuade. Okay, information can persuade. It's really good. This slide, this part. Persuasive naman, it changes, no? It changes the audience attitudes and beliefs and behavior. It gets something from the audience, you see? Informative, it gives something, it gets. It sells them, no? Sells them something. That tells them something. And then ito naman, persuasion can inform. Do you see the difference? Information can persuade. Here naman, persuasion can inform. No? Very nice, what do you call this one? Differentiation of informative versus persuasive. Lastly, let's go to argumentative. Okay, argumentative, please help me read this. Let's have Vince. Vince, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Argumentative communication. Argumentation is a social process. It's not simply restarting claims and reasons, rather it is supporting, modifying, or defending positions accordingly. Aims to gain adherence from an audience. Examples: debate, court hearings, argumentative speeches.
All right. So, by the word itself, you're arguing something, no? Argumentative communication. Okay. It says it's not simply restating claims. Okay. But you aim to gain adherence from an audience. You aim to be sided by the audience. Okay. Argumentative writers now we have here, they maintain a tone of fairness and reasonable thinking, right? Of course, when you see both debaters, their attitudes should be respectful still. It's not the argumentative communication that you see when people are fighting in the market, no? Parang nasa palengke, no. That's not the argumentative communication that we are talking about, okay? So, attitude should still be respectful, tactful, and formal when presenting your side, okay? Any questions so far?
None, ma'am.
None po, ma'am.
All right, so this is the last part of our discussion. We will now be discussing methods of delivery since we're talking about speeches, right? So we have manuscript, memorize, impromptu, and extemporaneous. Okay, manuscript, we'll just go over very quickly, no? It just involves you reading your speech word for word from its written form. Okay. All right. The advantage of this is that you can perfectly plan and control the wording of your speech. Disadvantage is that it prevents conversational delivery style. Okay? Para ng robot. Okay? tendency is you sound monotone because you just read in the paper, or if you look at the what do you call this one when you're on the stage, teleprompter, diba? If you look at those, you have the tendency to be monotone, unless of course you are already a professional speaker, no? For example, or you are an actor, actress, or news reporters, politicians. Some politicians also able to read, no? But they also sound very conversational. Okay. So yeah, some professional speakers are able to sound conversational, uh, not monotone. Okay, but of course that's the disadvantage sometimes. Okay. All right. Next. Uh-huh. We have here memorize. Memorize is involves committing your entire speech to memory. Of course, you memorize the speech. No? Advantage, it enables the speaker to maintain eye contact with the audience throughout the speech. The disadvantage naman is that not everyone has time to memorize. Is it true?
Yes po,
Yes?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's true. Especially if you are to memorize a very long speech. Okay. But again, the advantage is that, you can maintain eye contact. Your hands are free of notes, diba? You can move around. You can move freely around the stage. You can use your hands to make gestures. Okay. So, yeah, there's more freedom in the stage. But however, of course, when you plan to memorize as well, later you have the tendency to memorize even the vocal cue, no? Yung delivery parang also like robotic. That's what it's also like robotic na rin, no? It's just, have you ever seen or encountered or watched a speech that is you think it's memorized? Memorized, no feelings. Have you ever encountered that? Diba? So you're getting what I am saying. So you have this plain vocal cue because it's memorized. Walang feelings, walang emotions. Even your facial expression, nothing. Okay, very flat. Okay, that's also a disadvantage, right? And what else? Ano pang disadvantage ng memorized speech or method of delivery? You can put yourself into that situation. You've memorized a speech, but what happened? Okay. Any examples of disadvantage? Anyone?
Harder preparation po, ma'am.
Harder preparation. Yes, of course. You need time, diba? What else? Have you watched some memorized speeches? What are the disadvantage? Ano ba yung mga nakikita niyo na mali about it? Someone delivering a memorized speech. If you are to place yourself in a situation where you are listening to a person delivering a memorized speech, what can you say? What you think can go wrong in that kind of speech?
Mental block po, ma'am.
Yes, exactly. Who was that?
Borlaza po.
Borlaza. Yeah, exactly. Correct. Mental block. 'Di ba? Pag sobrang memorize and then you got lost somewhere, right? Now you don't know where to go back because 'di ba? That's what usually happens when you are delivering a memorized speech. Na mental block kayo. You lose your place and you cannot try to make ad lib now because you want to go back to that part where you got lost. It's difficult, no? So that's one thing. Another is pag mukha ng memorize, mabilis magsalita, right? If it's memorized, you tend to speak so fast like a machine gun. No? So yeah, it's just very emotionless later, no? Machine gun sinasabing you speak so fast. Okay. All right. Let's move on to last two, impromptu speech or speaking. Okay. Your favorite, no? You are all lucky that we are not doing face to face, no? Otherwise, we will be doing these as an activity. Okay. I will be asking you to deliver impromptu speeches, right? I can still naman, like right now, I can ask you to deliver impromptu speech. Would you be able to? Or you will be like this person here? Okay. So impromptu speech, of course, it's the one that you're asked to deliver with little or no preparation at all. Who among you loves impromptu speaking? Nako, you should learn to love it, right? You should learn to love it. Why are you afraid to speak in front? You just speak your mind. No? You just have to be spontaneous. I'm telling you, if you are not afraid of impromptu speaking as early as now, you will go far. Okay. You will go far in life, in your career and in life. No. We just have to speak what we think. No. Okay. So that's it. No. And then kung tama or mali, if it's right or wrong, bahala na later, right? As long as we open our mouth and talk. That's a really good practice in the future. No, that's how leaders are built later on to speak up their minds. No? Okay, so the advantage is it's spontaneous and responsive in an animated group text context. Okay. Disadvantage naman, speaker is given little or no time to contemplate the central theme of his or her message. So later, maybe you tend to not be able to deliver the central theme of your message. Of course, you are being nervous and all this also, that's a disadvantage. Okay. All right. So, any questions?
None po, ma'am.
Now, very quick lang before we proceed to the last one, no. When asked to give an impromptu speech, I would just like to share this one because please go over this again whenever you are to make a speech so that it would be again helpful, no. Do not throw all the things that you've learned here in our class out of the window after your finals. You can go over all of these concepts again because you will be applying this as you go along, as you go ahead in your academic years. You are delivering speeches, you are creating reports, writing, formal researches and all this. So there, you have to go back to all that, to everything that we've learned here. Okay, so when asked to give an impromptu speech, take a moment to collect your thoughts and plan the main point that you want to make. It's okay to pause, no? Take a moment to collect all those thoughts. Get that main point. Make sure you know that main point, so you just revolve around that main point. No? You also have to thank the person for inviting you to speak. Thank you for this opportunity. Okay. Pwede ring thank you for that wonderful question, diba? We often hear that. Okay, deliver your message, making your main point as briefly as you can while still covering it adequately and at a pace your listeners can follow, not too fast. Okay. Thank the person again for the opportunity to speak and then stop. Okay? Sounds simple, right? So that's it. Remember, impromptu speech lang yun, no? And it's since you're given um not enough time and you're able to get the central idea naman, make it brief. Okay? Make it concise and brief. Make sure you just focus on a single point. Otherwise, magiging circle na yan. You will just go round and round and round, paulit-ulit, paulit-ulit. And then your speech now is very, what do you call this one? Hindi na interesting. Okay, it's not interesting anymore if you go round and round. Okay, make it short, focus on a single point. Extemporaneous, lastly, please help me read this. Let's have Charles.
Hello?
Mhm.
Meron po ba?
Yes.
Extemporaneous, a speech delivered with some prepared structure such as notes or an outline, but is otherwise delivered off the cuff. By using notes rather than a full manuscript, the extemporaneous speaker can establish and maintain eye contact with the audience and assess how well they are understanding the speech as it progresses. The advantage is that it promotes the likelihood that you, the speaker, will be perceived as knowledgeable and credible. Also, your audience is likely to pay better attention to the message because it is engaging both verbally and non-verbally. The disadvantage of extemporaneous speaking is that it requires a great deal of preparation for both the verbal and the non-verbal components of the speech.
All right. So thank you so much. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Extemporaneous. Have you all done extemporaneous speeches? Okay. You were given enough time to prepare. You use notes, note cards, no, as an outline. It's not a script, no, but rather just note cards, meaning you put there the outline of your speech, no, keywords only, so you don't get lost or you don't forget important points. Have you tried delivering extemporaneous speeches? Not yet. That would be really a good experience. If you have, a chance to join, to do speeches or to join a club where they have these speeches, please do so. No, because I think if you are not really afraid to speak, if you are honed to be speakers, oh, you would really go far. This is something, when I if only I could turn back time, this is something I would really focus on during my academic years. I would, better myself as a speaker. I would be a good in I would be good in impromptu. I would be good in extemporaneous. I would join debate clubs, all of this. Now, if I could only turn back time, because it's really a good one of the important life skill. Okay. So going back to extemporaneous, there you used notes rather than manuscript. Okay. You can establish eye contact with the audience, and you can also assess how well they are understanding it now. If they're able to understand, no, that's the beauty of it. Okay. You can look at the audience at the same time you're not getting lost in your points in your speech. Okay. Again, the advantage is you would look like a knowledgeable and a professional, credible speaker, right? And then disadvantage is it requires now a great deal of preparation because, of course, you have to outline your speech. Okay, you have to practice the verbal and non-verbal components of your speech, right? Okay. So what else? Let's say, what else? Before we proceed to that, I think I'm about to add something more to this. Okay. Or I think that's it. Right. I think that's it. Any questions?
None po, ma'am.
No questions. Nako, excited na sila. They saw the last already. Okay, key takeaways. And this is what we can summarize from the methods of delivery. You have impromptu, extemporaneous, manuscript, and memorize. Okay. So impromptu speaking involves delivering a message on the spur of the moment. For example, pala when you're giving wine toast, right? Or a toast speech. Diba yung mga ganon when you are to asked to give a wine toast speech, then it's very impromptu. Extemporaneous speaking consists of delivering a speech in a conversational fashion using notes, just what we have mentioned just now. Okay, this is the style most speeches call for. And then manuscript speaking consists of reading a fully scripted speech. It is useful when a message needs to be delivered in precise words. Also, to add to that, we use that when do we use that importantly? Manuscript, I think we use it when we have important announcement quoting from some people, okay, that we have to quote every word, otherwise it would be problematic if we forget those exact words, right? So those are some instances where exact words should be quoted. Okay. Next, we have memorized. Lastly, memorized speaking consists of reciting a scripted speech from memory. Okay. Memorization now allows the speaker to be free of notes. And there you go. That's the end of our discussion. Okay. Any questions so far?